Welcome in Seven Rivers Racing and KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi. A rain-shortened Saturday night this past weekend has kind of limited what we're going to show you video recap-wise, and we're just going to jump right into things today before we bring in our guest. A very interesting story with our guest today who's not been at the track too long, but has sure made a name for himself this year. Well, Saturday night, Mother Nature came in, but we did get 3 late model races in. Chuck pretty much laid the schedule down in anticipation of the rain as the late models started things off with a 6-for-6 dash. And Steve Carlson remains your current point leader. We're going to share the last couple of laps from your 6 cars. These are, of course, the 6 fastest late models from qualifications. And after some early positioning, Brent Kirshner pretty much said, well, I'm going to run away with this one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the pits were keeping an eye on the weather and on the radar. And for a long time, it sure looked like we might get that race night in as things were heading south. So everybody was still saving their equipment, using this as a test session. And unfortunately, the rains did come.
Kind of thought Mike Carlson was going to try to make a move with about a lap or 2 left to go, but he remained solid and finished second in the 6-for-6. Steve Carlson, his father, took third, Todd Korsch fourth, and Mr. Comco Holland rounded out the top 5. And again, that was the late model 6-for-6 dash. We did get 2 heat races into the night. First one went to the always fast Brad Powell. He's the kind of guy that shows up at the track and you can anticipate that he's going to win something on the night. And he, in fact, did right here as he held off a strong field as well.
His brother Ryan does such a great job at setting up his car and a few others that, and with Brad being such a good driver, it is a tough combination to beat out there. And as you can see, he's pulling away here from the other 2 competitors.
Adam Degenhardt ended up second, Bill Niles third, Brandon Berg and Jeremy Wagner, teammates, finished 4th and 5th respectively. That was heat race number 1 as these guys were trying to get into a feature. Our second heat race on the night went to Brent Kirshner's teammate, who's came on very strong here over the past couple of weeks as he's been behind the City Auto Sales number 81. That would be Troy Rave. The reservation sensation is what he wants me to call him this year. The nickname is kind of stuck. And Troy, unlike the race he had here a couple weeks ago with Nick Clements, actually opened up on this one here.
Yeah, this was a good race for Troy. He hasn't been out here all that much. It gave him a chance to kind of spread his wings. I got to tell you, this was our best race of the year also, because we have been fighting a vibration all year. And this race here, we fixed the vibration. So as far as we were concerned, we were better than winners on this race.
Matt Kenny, he tried to tail behind Troy Rave as much as he could, but he is going to end up taking second. Matt England, third best finish he's had behind the wheel of a late model. Jonathan Eckelberg fourth, and Kurt Eckelberg rounded out the top 5. So Troy Rave, second a week behind the wheel of a late model again. Your 2009 Rookie of the Year finds his way into victory lane. Steve Carlson still has the point lead. He is 54 better than Jay Herbst, 69 better than Todd Korsch. That's it. That's all we've had from the La Crosse Speedway.
It is.
But there was another big race in the state of Wisconsin this week, and they are going to be at the La Crosse Speedway July 3rd, so we thought we'd give some time to give a shout-out to the Tundra Super Late Model Series, their first time at the Jefferson Speedway. A rain-shortened race there as well as what came through here ended up going through Jefferson later on the night. And Nick Panitsky, 22-year-old driver from Lakeville, Minnesota, ended up taking the race. And Matt Panier, the series announcer, you've seen him at Oktoberfest, had a chance to talk with your winning driver after his big race.
Nick Panitsky victorious in Tundra Super Late Model Series round number 2 in a rain-shortened event. Nick, you had this one covered anyway, didn't you?
I don't know if I'd say that. It would have got interesting if Dalton and Casey Johnson would have got up there. I know they were fast all day. My car was definitely a lot faster in the feature than it's been all day. We've been making adjustments, getting it better and better and better. And the feature was definitely real good. I would have liked to, race against Dalton and Casey, and those guys were fast, like I said. And, I think she was good enough to do it at the end there if it didn't get called.
Lap traffic was about to play a factor for you guys up front.
It was, it was getting pretty tight there. What was the lap? Well, 23 to go. Yeah, me and Cryer were both right on the back bumpers of two lap cars racing side by side. It was getting pretty dicey. If it would have been another lap or 2, it would have come down to who was going to be more harder nose than the other guy.
You jump into a pretty good point situation. Team driving with Cardell Potter puts you right toward the top with Dalton Zier. What is it looking like for the rest of the season?
I had a ton of fun racing this Tundra Series. I can't say enough about all the people that are involved, all the competitors. It's a good deal, and it's a real good deal for the average pro racer to come out here and compete in, you know, these types of super late model events. And like I said, it's a lot of fun, and I definitely plan on making the rest of it.
Picker, Nick Panitsky from Lakeville, Minnesota, makes the tow, and he makes it worthwhile, picking up the win in Tundra round 2.
That was your winning driver, Nick Panitsky. They only got 37 laps in on the race, and the rain was shortened. The race was shortened by rain, and he ended up being your winner. Frank Cryer, a very familiar name around these parts, especially at Wisconsin Dells and Crosse Speedway for Oktoberfest. Ended up taking second. Matt Panier pulled him aside for a quick chat.
Frank Cryer finishes as second here to Nick Panitsky in a rain-shortened Tundra Super Late Model Series round number 2. Oh, Frank, things were getting interesting with lap traffic at the end.
I bet you the crowd was kind of flipping out. Michelle, my wife, was spotting for me, and she just kept saying 14-0s, 13-9s once in a while, but the car was tied off, and she says, well, the rain's coming, we got to go. So it was one of them things where I wish and the lap track, it definitely helped, but I was trying to get after it, but we were tied off, so, but I'm glad the crowd got to watch a shortened race.
Had a little bit of a chance there with Panitsky on their restart. It looked like his car really liked to take off early, and then maybe your car a little bit better late. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of steer in the car. The car wanted to turn itself down. He had a good run on the outside. Once he got in that outside, it was good. I mean, we were pretty much the same car on the run. I felt like, you know, we kind of cruised a little bit just to see what was going to happen. I'm trying to read the other cars too, just to see if they're going to slow down or whatnot. And I was saving about a 10th, you know, just to try to save it. But he had a good car. I'm not going to take anything. I'm glad he's part of our program, and he ran good.
Frank Cryer finishes second here in Wisconsin's Action Track.
Again, Frank Cryer taking second place. Dalton Zier ended up taking third in the rain-shortened race. Matt Panier had a chance to talk to your third-place driver at Jefferson.
Dalton Zier comes home with a third-place finish today in a rain-shortened Tundra Super Late Model Series around at number 2. Dalton, you would have liked to seen that one go all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. You know, with the two-car of Brandon right on my bumper there, I'd like to have seen, you know, 5 to 10 laps. I keep saying 5, but it probably would have took 10. But we were catching the leaders, him and I both, and he was all over my back bumper. So he was a faster car. I knew that if he got by, it was going to be almost impossible to get the pass made again on him unless his car fell off real bad. But catching the leaders, they were in traffic, and if us two caught him, I know that it probably would have got real hectic real quick because everybody was ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, and you mentioned Casey Johnson kind of hanging on you there when you guys got into lap traffic. Wow, that really got interesting there in that last 2 or 3 laps before we had to throw the yellow.
Yes, it was getting interesting for third and for the lead from what I could see. I just caught them when they were too wide behind 2 cars, so it was really dicing up across the field. And as for Casey there, I mean, he was. I was using lap cars as picks. I can tell you that. I knew that he was quick, and we both were running the same line. So it was all. And at this track, it's hard to pass when the car you're trying to pass is in the top groove, because for him and I both, we were closely matched. That we both needed that top groove to pass the other. So I mean, he needed that. If I gave him the outside, he would have been gone. So I knew that the bottom for us was slower. So I mean, I was able to keep the momentum up out there, and he never did get the pass me.
Fast time, pass some cars, get up to third. Good point day for you.
Oh yeah, it was a great point day. I'm not sure where they all settled out, you know, from third on back, and I don't know who has whose points, but I have to believe that we come away with the lead here, and hopefully we go into La Crosse able to build it.
Dalton's there, third in Tundra round 2, on to La Crosse next.
So that's your top 3 from the Super Late Models, the Tundra Late Model Series. They're going to be at La Crosse on July 3rd, and you're going to be definitely seeing those 3 drivers. Next up for the Tundra Super Late Model Series is Wednesday night, July 3rd, at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, part of the Fair and Independence Day kind of activities. First time they've had a race there on a Wednesday for quite a while. TundraSuperLates.com, you can find the entire schedule. Talking about schedules, next up for the Crosse Speedway on Saturday night, we've got late model, Sportsman Thunderstocks, the Outlaws will be back. The wacky boat race is always a neat one to watch, and the kids' penny drop is going to be there as well. Also, Mississippi Thunder Speedway, Friday night, took the last weekend off because of Steamboat Days in Winona. $5. That's it. Friday night. If you want to go watch some great dirt track racing in the state, $5 will get you in for the A&B Mini Mod, which start at 6. The USRA Modifieds are at 7 o'clock, followed by the B-Mod Street Stocks, 600 Mods, and the Pure Stocks. When we come back, our guest is one of our current point leaders at the Crosse Speedway, and we're going to recap some video we showed you last week because this guy took a shot, ended up winning a feature race, finds himself as your Hornet point leader. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jacob Bemis right here on Seven Rivers Racing.
When you're all out of good ideas and you've moved on to the dumb ones, it's time. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, a higher standard of comfort.
May I take your order?
Be not defeated by indecision. Choose the path that leads to a better day. Choose the way of the meal.
Make it a meal with one of Cousin Sub's new pork subs, the Memphis steak, or the Cubano for a limited time only.
The key to happiness is sharing.
Oh. Cousin Subs. Better bread, better subs, better day.
Did you know that the Holman American Legion is open to the public? That's right, 7 days a week you can enjoy the full-service bar while watching your favorite sports team or NASCAR driver. You don't need to be a member to enjoy the Holman American Legion's rotating lunch special every Tuesday for only $6. A banquet hall with seating up to 250 people is also available for weddings, birthdays, or any other special event. See you at the Holman American Legion, 419 First Avenue West in Holman.
Get ready for the Thunder! The Mississippi Thunder Speedway!
Your Friday night racing destination.
Racing starts at 7. Super Stocks.
Modified.
600 Mods.
Pure Stocks.
Street Stocks.
Viva.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style.
Tickets $12 for adults. $5 18 and under. $8 for students. Or our family pack.
$25 for 2 adults and 3 kids 18 and under.
Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Racing on KQE GTV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi. We're going to give you the quick rundown of points of the Crosse Speedway. Al's going to talk briefly about Cheap Trick, and we're going to bring in our guest on the program this week. Very surprising at the Crosse Speedway this year. Lacrosse late models being led by Steve Carlson, Jay Herbst, Korish, Cohowland, and Mike Carlson round out the top 5. Sportsman Jake Arneson has a lead over Greg Scheck, followed by Steve Bachman, Bill Martin, and Jared Logging. Thunder Stocks, this one's going to be tight all year. Adam Moore leads Jason Bolster by 4 heading into this weekend's races. Then it's Jordan Myers, Andy Moore, and Bad Brad Worth in your top 5. Outlaws, Jared Logging has a 12-point lead over Tom Lethe. Cole Schulze, Jason Bolster, and Steve Roosh round out your top 5. Figure 8s, it's Dustin McCracken. Novelty, Dustin McCracken. He's got both of those back-to-back new driver at the Speedway. Late model dash points being led by Steve Carlson, Jake Arneson, your sportsman dash point leader, and Adam Moore is your Thunderstock dash point leader. Looking at the top 5 for the Lacrosse Hornets this year, 4th is Kevin Turner. 5th is Kevin Turner. Jeff Stumland finds himself in 4th. Jeff Thompson is 3rd. Kim Strum is 2nd. And the guest in our program today has a very slim 5-point lead over the rest of the field, and that would be Triple O's Jacob Bemis. Jake, how are you, buddy?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
I didn't even realize when I was lining up getting the interview with you this week that you had the point lead here, and you're only a second-year driver at the Speedway.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well this year. I'm pretty happy with how things have been going. So.
Well, again, Jake has a 5-point lead over Strom, 6 over Thompson. Look at those the names in that top 5. You're looking at veteran, and second-year driver. You got to feel real fortunate to be sitting on top of that heap with some of those guys behind you.
Yeah, when we started last year, I just wanted to be competitive, but I went past that point, I think.
Where'd you get your equipment? Where'd you get your car from?
The car, I found it off of Craigslist and had some friends set it up, and
Wow.
That's it.
And what did you do prior to last year for
Prior to last year? Before then, I raced 1 year in 2004. And then after that, I just couldn't afford it, but I still loved racing. But now I'm back because I can afford it again. So.
that helps. But what's great about the Hornets is that you're not spending a whole lot of money, and you can enjoy some family time and things like that, and still have a blast out there.
Yeah, you don't have to be there every single week like all the higher end cars, divisions and everything, but you still have some time to yourself and everything, so it's fun.
Talk about your season last year. What did you aim to accomplish, and what were the things you learned?
Last year, my goal for last year, like I said earlier, is wanting to be competitive because I didn't know how my car was going to handle or anything like that. It could be junk for all I knew. And it just, once I started doing well, I just kept on setting higher and higher goals for like winning races and doing high in points. And I did really well. I never won a race last year, but I only finished outside the top 5 twice.
That's awesome.
And I think the better you got, the more your race fans are starting to show as well as. Jeff Thompson's crew has one of the largest Hornet fan bases out there when it comes to apparel and staying together, getting really loud. And then all of a sudden last year, I want to say it was about midway through the season, I had just announced your name and I'm looking down at my sheet. The cars are coming around. I heard this huge cheer. And I have to look down at Tad, and I'm like, now where did all those fives come from? And it just started to build from there. So you guys really made a staple for yourselves right off the bat. I mean, you're point leading this year. You've got a feature race win from a couple weeks ago. And Jets, if you got that lined up, we're going to show that as well. As really can't believe that he held on for the win as Nate Towner was trying to chase you down, as was Jeff Thompson. This was a huge, I think this was a 19-car feature right here. And kind of walk us through as you're working your way up here.
Well, going through the field like that, you just kind of got to pick the best line you can pick. I mean, you don't have much time to think. You just go for the next opening pretty much.
And which car are you on here so that everybody out there knows which one you are?
I don't see myself at this point.
You're about mid-pack on the inside right there.
Oh, there I am right there. Yeah, at that point,
number 5.
I'm just trying to maintain the low line so nobody gets below me, and then trying to work my way through the field.
A little incidental contact there on a brake check underneath somebody. And
yeah, me and Garrett got together a little bit there. Everything got bottled up.
And that's what happens. You have to maintain patience, don't you?
Oh, yeah, you got to be aggressively patient. But you got to know when to be aggressive, but then there's times when there's nowhere to go or you can't do anything.
Right.
Talk about driving with the mixture. We have such a mixture of young and veteran drivers this year. You are still kind of towards that young portion of the driver's entry, though you don't race like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different driving styles out there with the younger ones and everything. You got to know who to watch out for and who to give a little more space, and the ones you can race hard and be side by side with them.
See, this was a portion of the race that I knew was going to get quite interesting because you've got yourself, you've got almost your top 5 in points. Chris Berg and the white 25 is down there. You're getting past Chris Critter Sampson right here. Now that you got the race lead, number 1, what are you thinking? Number 2, do you know how close Kim Strom is to behind you?
Oh, I knew right where he was. I know he was close behind me, but I was clear of him the entire time. So I just kept on running my line. I knew if I tried to worry about where he was, I would just slow myself down. I just kept on trying to run my line and be as fast as I could at that point.
And then you had to throw Nate Towner into the mix, and I'm sure Nate, up around the same neck of the woods where you're from, you knew exactly what he does and how he drives.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I knew how. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
I know how Nate is, and he's quite the competitor. We get along pretty well though, so I wasn't too concerned about Nate at all.
Of course, 2 of the point leaders right there, Jeff Stimmelin and Kim Strom, bouncing off of each other, which made this pretty much a 2-car race side by side. Do you prefer to run it as you're pretty much stuck on the outside? Nate Towner will never give you the inside. You're going to have to work for that.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you prefer to run on that track?
I prefer the inside. Like my line, I kind of drift up towards the outside of the track.
Wow.
Now watch this. What are you thinking right here when you get nailed?
At that point, I just react. I don't know what to think. I just
That's what happens.
I do what I do.
That's usually the best move sometimes.
And it was so loud and so quick, we heard it up in the announcer's tower. So I'm thinking, okay, he just lost the race.
Yep.
And then you held on, got across the stripe and straightened up. But at the same time, Jeff Thompson starts running your outside rail and actually had about a quarter of a car length to your back rear end, or to the back quarter panel.
Yeah, he was right there. As soon as I got past those guys, then I realized he was there. Then I'm like, oh, I got to keep going here. I don't got it yet.
Now, after you won the race, were you in a hurry to get home and watch the races on Sunday night on KQEG?
Of course I was.
So, obviously, where do you rank that race in your past year and a half?
I think that'd be my best race, obviously, because I won it. I mean, it was probably the most exciting race I've been in, and probably just because of the fact that I won it, too.
Right. So what was the scuttlebutt like down in the pits when you go down and you mean all these guys here in the top 5 you had to end up passing and racing hard against? Did you get some high fives, or did you get some guys going, okay, now this guy's for real?
There's a couple high fives out there. Like me and Jeff Thompson were good. Me and Jeff Stumlin are good, and actually me and Nate are also good too. We're actually teammates now. So,
sure.
So I mean, but there was a few of them that weren't too sure about it. But I mean, all in all, everybody was happy for me.
Jacob Bemis out of Trempealeau is our guest in the Sim Rivers Racing Show on KQEG TV. Got to mention that right behind this camera I'm looking into is Katie Bemis. We had to name drop her too, just in case he forgot later on, because some of our guests, we let them talk about their sponsors, the big crews, but there's always that one person that they may forget, so I just got you off the hook just in case.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to come back and find out more about the man that's leading the Hornets at the Crosse Speedway when we come back from this break. This is Seven Rivers Racing.
Did you know that the Holman American Legion is open to the public? That's right. 7 days a week, you can enjoy the full-service bar while watching your favorite sports team or NASCAR driver. You don't need to be a member to enjoy the Holman American Legion's rotating lunch special every Tuesday for only $6. A banquet hall with seating up to 250 people is also available for weddings, birthdays, or any other special event. See you at the Holman American Legion, 419 First Avenue West in Holman.
Get ready for the Thunder! The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Racing starts in 7. Super stocks.
Modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks.
Street stocks.
Viva.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style.
Tickets $12 for adults. $5 18 and under. $8 for students. Or our family pack.
$25 for 2 adults and 3 kids 18 and under.
Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
May I take your order?
Be not defeated by indecision. Choose the path that leads to a better day. Choose the way of the meal.
Make it a meal with one of Cousin Sub's new pork subs, the Memphis steak, or the Cubano for a limited time only.
The key to happiness is sharing.
No.
Cousin Subs. Better bread, better subs, better day.
We're back one more time. I'm Dan Dyke along with Al Losi. This is Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. Our guest coming out of Trempealeau leads the pack on the Hornets this year. He's only been driving that Hornet about a year and a half and leading Kim Strahm by 5, and it's a whole bunch of Hondas leading the Hornets. Your decision to drive a Honda?
Well, my decision behind that was I knew Nate always drove Hondas, and I knew he was always fast. I knew my best choice was to get something similar to what he had. So. And it worked out pretty well.
And of course, Nate Towner, I think as long as I've been in lacrosse, I've been driving Hondas. Same thing with Kim Strahm, and they're almost, now they're not all Preludes though.
No, Jeff has he has an Accord, I believe it is, but me, Kim, and Nate have Preludes.
All right. Any part swapping, or does that make it easier? If something breaks, someone can come down because you know it should fit?
Between Kim and Nate, they could, because theirs is the exact same car, but mine's the next generation up, so I'm kind of out of luck on that one.
But you are learning setups. I'm sure a lot of that can
there's plenty of setups for tire pressures and everything like that can be transferred over.
Jacob Bemis is joining us out of Trempealeau, leading the Hornets this year. As we give you some credit, we're going to name drop Katie twice now because we don't want to, she's your driving force. Who else is helping you in the pits this year?
I got he's married to my cousin. His name is Sam Helmers. He's basically my tag group person. Then Aaron Towner, Nate's cousin, is down there, and then Katie's cousin, Vern Bridwell, he's also down there too.
Now, what does Katie do? Does she ever get her hands dirty, or she just kind of stand and watch?
She gets her hands dirty with like the apparel side of it.
Which you guys have done a great job. I'm still waiting on a hoodie too, by the way.
It's coming. It's coming.
The hats just came out last weekend during Fan Appreciation. I saw when you had them on top of your cars, and that's something you and I have talked about this. It really excites me to watch. As long as I've been here, where the Hornets have come from, because a lot of people think $200. I'm going to pull up a junk car out of the lot. Throw a number on there, a couple of sponsors, the lacrosse stickers, and that's all it's going to be. And just, I would say, well, maybe the past 3 or 4 years, the attention paid, besides Nate Towner, because he's always had a nice-looking Hornet out there. I would say the past 3 or 4 years, what these guys are doing, guys and gals, I mean, Linehan's looks fantastic. What they're doing to their cars, outstanding.
Oh, and it's the wraps that they're putting on it. It's the pride of ownership. We do a lot of the uniforms and the hats for a lot of the late models and the sportsmen, and we're starting to see it in the Hornets and in the street stocks out there, that people are just having a lot more pride about their team and how they look and how they carry themselves. And it really does bring a professionalism to the NASCAR racetrack.
And it's not to say that Hornet drivers don't have their race fans, because I'm just seeing the ones, I mean, I can picture in my mind 4 of them right off the bat. Another one just came out a couple weeks ago. You got Jeff Thompson's crew, shirts looking fantastic. You got Jake Bemis' crew down, shirts looking fantastic. And even last week, now Brendan Lemoyne, who is a rookie driver, ran a really nice race this past weekend. They're bringing the shirts out now as well. So you're starting to see these huge groups pop up, and then the hats make their presence known on Saturday. And you guys really don't know when you're doing what I do, what that brings to the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, it brings a lot of, like you say, professionalism to it, and then I don't know, it's just something that's nice to have. It's nice to have your own type of stuff when you're at the track and everything.
Now, do you have
feel like a racer?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a sponsor that makes your apparel?
Nobody sponsors it, no.
Okay, well, you see on his shirt right there, and you're going to need to jot that down. See, I led him right into that one there.
We're actually looking for a new person to make our stuff. So.
Well,
they're going to talk after They're going to talk after the show, because he made our shirts. You know, matter of fact, I did watch the replay of our show last week, and I had to see these are the best shirts you've made over the past 3 years, because I really got to looking at them. I liked them, though. They really, really look good. As we're name-dropping sponsors, you got a whole boatload that are helping out the number 5 this year.
I got a bunch of them. Yeah, I got TLM Express, I got Boondocks Locker Room, Fan Concrete, Charlie's Inn, Charlie's Angels, Chuck's Cabins, River Stop, J&J Drywall, and Shop Before the Lakes.
Of course, Jake, leading the Hornets this year, you've got 3 more races to go. I'm going to drop the big question here, and hopefully this isn't some kind of a voodoo hex. You got 3 to go. It was announced this year that the champion will be named at Oktoberfest. Do you have enough to get into Oktoberfest to make this a 5-car shootout?
I hope so. I hope you didn't jinx me, though, but I mean, I'll do.
Actually, on this show, it's kind of a blessing.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if you knew this. It was it last year, 2 years ago? 6 consecutive drivers made this show. The next week out, either won a heat race or a feature. And Maddie Eckelberg was leading on the last lap of her feature, and Jake Chalmers beat her by a half car length. But she did win one this year in the Hornet for me. So we're even keeled. So this is good luck for you.
I hope the trend continues.
Jake Bemis, folks, Facebook, Twitter.
I'm on Facebook. Yep. Look me up, and then we got our own Bemis Racing Group page. I know Dan's on there and everything. Just to look us up on there, and we'll add you.
That's one of the awards we give away, is the social media award at the Lacrosse Banquet this year. And I tell you what, there's about 3 or 4 race teams right now that are in some serious contention, and you guys are one of them, because I'm always getting updates on there, and I throw little comments on left and right. So make sure you check out Jake Bemis Racing on Facebook. Before we go, we got to talk about one of my favorite bands, Cheap Trick, and you've got a little bit of an interest there with Cheap Trick.
Yeah, we were extremely fortunate to be involved with this concert coming up at Riverside Park. We're very involved in Operation Homefront with our racing team and with Advocare, one of our major sponsors. And if you were at the racetrack Saturday night, you saw on our hood of our late model, come down to the come on down to the concert. Look for the 49 race car. A little hint, we're up near the stage. And bring donations to Operation Homefront. They're always looking for food that they can send it to their loved ones. They're looking for donations to help the families locally in the area, and that is what it's all about. And rumor has it Albert might be playing his instrument up there.
We playing the V8?
The V8. We may be firing that car up during one of their songs.
Well, like I said in the pits, just make sure it doesn't break a string, because that would be a mighty expensive string on a V8.
But anyways, Cheap Trick concert, lots of fun. We'll be giving away a few things from the racetrack. And like I said, it's for Operation Homefront.
Alrighty, we're already got a time of the program, but we do want to encourage you once again to look up Jake Bemis on Facebook, join that racing page. And we want to thank him for coming in. Tell you what, that's one of the names you're going to see around the Speedway for quite a while, only a year and a half in. He has the point lead out of about 50 or so Hornets. Jake, want to appreciate you coming in. Katie, thanks for letting him come in. All right, got the thumbs up. For Jacob Bemis, Nell Losey, and Dan Diker, you can check out my WKTY Race Report show on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoons. From 1 until 2, Jake will be on the show this weekend. Have a great week. We'll see you at the racetrack, either Mississippi Thunder Friday night or the Crosse on Saturday. This is 10 Rivers Racing here at KQEG.